So it's about 6:30, 6:40, and I just woke up in my tarp, and I'm gonna eat some breakfast. I'm still in my sleeping bag, and I've got Pop-Tarts, and somewhere there's a muffin. And so I'm gonna eat and then start to pack up. Okay, it's about 6:55. I just took off my long johns, put on my hiking clothes, inside my quilt so that I stay warm. And before I finish eating, I picked out some bars for the day until lunch. And yeah, almost ready to get up, except for the noise that no hiker wants to hear, which is which means that the air mattress is deflating. I can no longer be comfortable, which means I have to get up and start hiking after I pack everything up. So, on to packing. Okay, so all of my stuff is now packed away. All of the stuff you can see in the hat goes on the outside of my pack. And all of the soft stuff like clothing will go on the bottom. Then I'll pack my sleeping bag in and my pad, then my food and all of my jackets surrounding that. But for now, it's time to take down the tarp. So normally, I will take out these two side stakes here and one of the end stakes, and it should just fall right over. Like that. And then I'll go get the rest of the stakes and wad this up into its bag, and that'll be that. So everything is packed in my pack, except for the Tyvek, which goes on top last. But like I said, I put soft clothing on the bottom, then my sleeping bag, and the clothing just helps even the bottom out so it stands up. Sleeping bag, pad, food bag, and then I surround that with my jackets and stuff. And then on the outside, underneath the hat, is my tarp on the bottom, and then random stuff like toilet paper, sunglasses, and snacks on the top. And you can now see I was camping on cow poop all night. Cool. So now it's about 7:25 and I'm all packed, so time to head out. You can see I've got my puffy and gloves on because the sun is not quite up fully, and it's pretty cold here in Colorado in the mornings, so I'll probably hike with those for a while. So I camped by water last night, as you can see, and ended up filtering plenty of water last night, so I don't actually need to get any water this morning. But normally, if I were out from drinking water all night, I'd just fill up real fast, so I'd have some for the first part of the day. You can see where I slept was just kind of in this big basin right next to those trees. Yep. Not entirely sure where the trail is because it's not really marked. Oh, there's a pole. Okay. Sun. Moon. Trail. So it's 7:45, and another important part of my day is brushing my teeth. And I normally like to do this as I start to hike out, just to save a little time and stuff. So yeah. Well, it's 7:55, but it is officially getting too hot to hike in my puffy and gloves. So, puffy's on top, gloves are in the pocket. Time to keep hiking. So, whenever I'm hiking into sort of a dead end, almost kind of cirque like this, I just start to wonder, which way am I gonna exit? Because it's almost never down. Typically you climb up and over at some point. And while that looks like it may be a pass up there, I actually looked at the maps last night, and I believe I'm going to slowly climb up this little hill here and then around that arm that's coming down. So, like I said, I looked at my maps last night before I went to sleep, and it's pretty important, at least on the CDT, to do just because well, got some water. The trail is so poorly marked, if it's even marked at all, that it's nice to have at least an idea of where you're going, what mountains you're going around, stuff like that. So if you do get off trail, and by the way, yesterday I think I got off trail 4 times, and 3 of those I had to bushwhack back up to the trail or down. But anyways, if you have a good idea of where you're going, or at least a little idea, if you do get off trail, it might feel a little off or feel wrong, and so you can check your maps and then see, oh, I am off trail. So that's just kind of part of the everyday on the CDT. Many times on the CDT, even when you're on trail, you're still bushwhacking. Okay, so it's 8:40 and the clouds are kind of starting to clear out and the sun's coming out, getting a little brighter, so I'm gonna put on my hat to keep the sun off my face and keep hiking. This is Blue Lake. And it is about 9:30. There's an old fireplace right by the lake. Okay, it's about 10 o'clock, and according to the GPS, I've done 6.7 miles so far, and I'm getting kind of hungry, as I do every day at 10 o'clock, so I pulled this out of the back of my pack, and I'll be eating and walking so I don't lose time. And yeah, it's looking like there's kind of a gradual 1,000-foot climb for about the next 5 miles, and then it's looking like lunch might be at a lake in about 6.5 miles. And this is about the time every day where I try to figure out where I'm going to go for lunch, try to find a place that has water, and so that's what's going on. Anyways, maybe 2.5 hours to lunch. So the trail here is not marked at all, and it takes this random turn down through a field with no cairns or anything. So we had to build our own cairn, this beautiful cairn here, to try and help people that don't have GPS actually find the trail, because it's pretty difficult. Just another day on the CDT, and it is about 10:30. So this is the trail I've been following for quite some time now, and you might think you just continue on the trail to stay on the CDT, but it actually turns out you just follow these cairns off the trail and keep walking, where there's absolutely no beaten path, but there are cairns. Oh, and there's a post. Alright, well, it is 12:20 and I am starting lunch for the day, spreading out, taking off my shoes, airing out my feet, and gonna have some lunch. And the view is pretty incredible.
Maybe the last time we saw about the peak.
Yeah, actually, this might be.
Here's me adding powder to my juice.
So, as you can see, going on for lunch, I have my caffeinated Mio that I just made, a can of tuna salad, which I don't normally have a can, but for this last short section I figured I'd go all out. So tuna salad.
The hiker doesn't have a name over here.
No names.
No name. No name over there either.
No names, but very kindly offered me some pie. So that's part of lunch.
Oh,
A cookie just flew in.
a ginger cookie.
That's pretty normal. I have a shelf-stable barbecue sandwich here. So those are, actually someone sent me one of these, Shippin sent me one in a box, and they are really tasty. And I just picked some of those up at Walmart. Also going on, bugles. They're okay. I'm currently charging my phone because I've been taking so many videos I have to keep my phone active. And there's trash, and there's hiker trash, and that is lunch. As is often the case at lunch, kites are being flown.
We're pretty hardcore when you really think about it.
Some people have a little more trouble flying kites than others.
Hey, wait, do your local look. There he goes. He's the trick flyer.
But as you can see, this is kind of a standard practice on a thru-hiker lunch.
Embrace the brutality, yo. Embrace the brutality.
Woohoo! Uh-oh.
And it's slightly raining, so I've used my ground sheet to cover myself.
When was the last time you flew a kite? I think it's last century, huh? Ja, tutaj Superman.
So, lunch is over. I packed some snacks for later. Took about an hour lunch. Enjoyed some kite flying. And a little bit of rain, but nothing bad. And it's back to hiking. And it's about maybe 9 or 10 miles to camp, maybe 11.
Part of our day. Kite walking. It is gorgeous.
Still going.
Flying princess. Can you imagine they made a TV show about a flying dinosaur?
Sun's getting low. And I am up on a sort of mesa. So one thing I haven't mentioned in this video yet is this is actually my last full day of through hiking on my CDT hike. Tomorrow I'll have about 10 miles into town and I'll be done, which is pretty crazy, but it also means that you are looking at the edge of Colorado into New Mexico. And south is kind of that way, so it's still New Mexico, but yep. pretty exciting. And yeah, it kind of accounts for some of the odd occurrences today, like kites. But feels good. I'm definitely ready to be done. If you haven't seen my CDT videos, there are videos of my entire hike, not just this day. Yeah, the day's winding down now. I'm getting ready to set up camp. I think I'm gonna set up kind of up top here on this mesa because this is actually the high point of my hike, and it's all downhill to town from here. So that's pretty fun. No more climbing. There's New Mexico. Okay, well, I set up for the night and I'm cowboy camping up on top of the little sunset ridge I was up on.
Who is he talking to? I'm not in a sleeping bag and I'm very cold.
And you can see I've got my pad, my bag. I'm on my tie bag over here. Got some water boiling for some ramen and some more food. And you can see, just barely see where the sun set over there. And I've got all my layers on. It's pretty chilly up here, but last night on trail, so might as well make it a good one. And yeah, I'll report back when the food's done. Okay, as you can see, dinner is chicken ramen with crunchy bugle crackers and hot chocolate. Yum. So when all was said and done on this little section of trail, I hiked about 25 miles that day and ended up cowboy camping on top of the ridge, as you saw. But later that night, a huge wind moved in and I ended up pitching my tarp after some drops of rain came down. Luckily the rain stopped, but the wind just assaulted us all night, as you will see in this next clip. But other than that, it was a pretty normal day on trail, just a lot of hiking, and that's what most days on trail are. It's another lovely day on the CDT. This is wild out here.